it may be far from over, as all is not well with the three legs involved. That's the generation, transmission, and distribution. The 11 distribution companies disclosed now face imminent collapse as they wallow in debts. An instance is a reported takeover of the assets of Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, that's the IBEDC, by the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, over defaults in loan payments. While no disco has declared dividend, 8 years after privatization, debt owed to banks by the power sector stands at about 819.97 billion naira as of 2021. No doubt, Paul, there is fire on the mountain.
Run. Honestly, the power sector I know sometimes you are almost tempted to think whether Nigeria is jinxed when it comes to the issue of power sector. You know that there is no meaningful development, meaningful growth, meaningful and sustained growth in the economy in every facet of life that you can achieve without the virality of the power sector. But look at what is happening. We are talking about over 819 billion naira debt. We're talking about they take non-performing loans that they took. You see, even the way the licenses that this course didn't even deserve the licenses in the first place. See, I do not see much difference between the discos and the old PHCN or even the NEPA. Probably NEPA is, I'm talking about in terms of performance, in terms of service delivery. People still, if your transformer gets blown, you still go buy transformer for yourself. You still get wire for yourself. You still get pole for yourself. Yeah. You understand what I'm trying to say? Right. And when you have problem on your prepaid meter, sometimes when you see deductions that you can't explain, there is no ready customer care person that talks to you. You can talk to over the phone. Right. You go there to make complaints, and then the whole thing drags. So they are just there doing nothing. They are doing nothing. I think that the time has come for us to rethink that sector, for us to overhaul the sector and do something else. The NLC has power to revoke the operational licenses of discos, according to section 73 and 74 of the EPSR Act. Right. You understand? Yeah. We should begin to think of how to deal with this issue. Right. 8 years, no dividend to show for it. 8 years, no dividend to show it. They took loans to set up infrastructure and everything. Even the infrastructure, look at it. Look at the kind of infrastructure we have to support power in Nigeria. It's terrible. It's terrible. Something has to be done. The system is bedeviled by non-performance. It's bedeviled by mediocrity. Mediocrity that is protracted. You know when somebody is living in the regions of mediocrity and then does not find a way out, that is the power sector. Those are the discos. The discos don't even have the power. They don't even have the capacity to take all the load that is being supplied by the jungles. They don't have the capacity to deal with it. It's very shameful. Right. Very.
Adewale, I wanted to weigh in on this. Experts are of the view that there is no justification for using loans to buy discos in the first place. Do you agree with this submission?
Yeah, I agree. Because if you look at what happened in 2013, they bought those assets with loans. And what was the rate of the naira to dollar in 2013? I think 200 naira. Now it's 500 naira. And they inherited, a lot of assets that were not of global standard, and infrastructure that were depleted. And then we also have a lot of problems, like the MDA debts, ministries, departments, army that are owing them, police that never pay, so they don't pay. And then you also have the problem of corruption, within the energy sector, and also a clear case of incompetence. When you go to their customer care, you see people coming to complain with all sort of. There was a time I was debited 100,000. I wanted to reload, and I was asked to go and pay 100,000 from nowhere. And I went there to tell them, I'm not owing you, and I met so many people there. I want to recharge. They are telling me I'm owing 20,000 naira from nowhere.
You recharging your postpaid?
Yes.
Is it postpaid or prepaid meter?
It's prepaid. Okay. You want to recharge, and they are telling you are owing. You want to do online. They block you. So when I went there, I saw so many people with the same problem. So I think the energy, what is happening in the energy sector cannot be isolated from the character of those who run the political economy. So when you are talking about a political system that is not that cannot guarantee sustainable development, you cannot expect automatic difference in terms of how we run the economy. Those people that bought, this company's discourse in 2013, you also have to raise the issue of competence. Were those companies just sold as political patronage to some friends and individuals just to placate them?
It's obvious.
So, because most of these companies that took over this asset, we never heard of their a kind of heritage in the energy sector, and we are talking of 8 years now. And then we should also find out the stakeholders, the big men in these companies, what kind of lifestyle do they live? Because they are performing public functions, so they are not immune from public probe. So when we are talking about what is going on now, we should also think of how the energy sector can be probed, maybe by an institution like the FCC. But I can tell you a lot of corruption is going on there, that if Nigerians get to know, you discover that this dividend they have not made for 80 years has to do with a lot of problems, including corruption within the system itself. And like I said, I think we have to begin to think of registering new, discourse, so that, there could be a kind of mutual competition. We are saying that privatization is the best option in running a capitalist economy. But this case has proved that even when you privatize, it's not automatic, that the economy is going to improve. So I think, and we must also realize that the energy is the bedrock of the economy, of the industry of the country. So if there's rot in this system, it's going to have a shame impact on other aspects of life. It's going to affect the economy. It will affect every aspect of our life.
All right, just hang on. I'll definitely have a question to ask you, because as regard that privatization of the thing. But we've got Elder Dare from Kaduna. Elder Dare, please make your point.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, to your guest in the studio, I must commend you for this wonderful topic that you brought on. This is the bane of what is happening to us in this country. You see, you talked about police. I think the one of the discourse is even worse. Just like one of your guests in the studio there alluded to. In the community where I am, we had to buy a transformer. We bought wires, bought poles, and the moment you buy all these things, it ceases to be your own property. Now, let me ask this question. On what parameter is the discourse estimating the bills for people to pay? I mean, it's unthinkable. In this country at this time, they are not performing, and yet Nigerians are paying. It's only in this part of the world that you pay for darkness. Darkness is supposed to be free. But, I mean, and yet we have National Electricity Regulatory Council sitting down doing work. And we have that there's a foreign, is it Siemens that wanted to buy initially, and they refused to sell for them? Look now what their cronies are doing to Nigerians. And like you rightly said, electricity is the bane of development, even at the local level. I mean, the government should rise up to what they are supposed to do and stop Nigerians from going through this added hardship. It's unfortunate.
Right.
Now, if they are not ready, they should just leave the field and allow people that have competence to take over, so that Nigeria can either sign or leave.
All right, thank you very kindly, Elder Dare, for your submission. If you can't do the job, allow those who can run it to run it.
Yeah.
Where are we going to bring them from? Is it from the same society? Because a lot of people are even giving up as to who is going to do the right thing at the end of the day.
I don't think we should lose hope, because we have some companies in this country that are being run efficiently by Nigerians. So the important thing is to ensure that we have competent people. Look at Akwa Ibom Air. It's owned by state government, and you could look at even Odua investment that we are talking about, established several years ago. It's not, it's still profitable. There was a time, I think, 1992, under Daily Times, run by Yemi Ogunbi. For the first time, it made a profit of 10 million, I remember, run by government. So a responsible government should not also should be responsible in terms of running the affairs of men, which includes the economy. So I don't think we should lose hope to say that Nigerians cannot run electricity. If Ghana can run an efficient electricity system, what is wrong with Nigeria? The important thing is to get the right people to do the job.
And then you made mention of the privatization of the whole thing. We thought that was just going to make everything come out successful.
Yeah.
But what we are seeing is showing that privatization also has a problem in the country.
Yeah, especially when it is driven by political interest and not by public interest. In other countries, we've seen privatization work. We have also seen even advanced countries where government refuse to give up social services, like railways, like things that has to do with majority of the people. A lot of governments still run, railways, because they know that these things cannot be left in the hands of private individuals alone. So I think, we should not just conclude that, the economy will be the best if everything is privatized. Government, what then is the function of government if you cannot run the economy? So what we have seen in this country now has shown clearly that it's not just mere privatization that can, resolve the economic crisis that we have. That government needs to stand up and ensure that the content and form of that privatization is transparent, is corruption-free, and is driven overall by public interest.
Well, if the power sector is not, savage as the way it's going, from the brink of, the threat of collapse, and then it finally happened, a lot of people will be going back to the labor market. Isn't that what it is?
Definitely. I think it even happened with Abuja and Disco, that people were losing their jobs. It's going to inevitably happen, because if you are hoeing and then AMCON is taking over your
assets,
it might mean a loss of jobs for many people. You are throwing people into the labor market, and that is not what we actually want. We are looking at a situation where we'll begin to have serious investors, serious entrepreneurs come into the power sector. Look at telecommunications, for example. Like Wale said, that businesses can be run. Okay, there was a time that we only had NITEL, right? NITEL, a government agency running telecommunications, and we know that people were not getting too much joy from NITEL. Then the sector became liberalized. You understand? We are not going to be saying that the telcos are giving us the best they can give, but at least you know that you can get value for your money a lot of times. You understand? They have infrastructure. You see, you see their masts. They do mast maintenance and all of that. And then apart from that, when you are not getting joy from them, you can always complain. You have customer care persons to talk to online. They have different ways of reaching out to them. You can call them, you can go to their website, you can go there physically and all of that. You don't have serious persons or serious organizations running the power sector that way. I'm looking for a situation where we liberalize it further. It shouldn't just be, we should have, for example, in Lagos, you have IBEDC and the Eco Disco. We should have more. We want to see maybe a disco, running a place like this, just probably Magodo or maybe area, and providing efficient services. We want to see another one, maybe managing Oshodi, right, and its environs. That's what we want to have. Number two, we need to also begin to look for alternatives to hydro and gas. We are wasting gas anyway, We are supposed to, in fact, when it comes to gas, don't even talk about it. We are just like the child of a meat monger that is eating bones. So we need alternatives. We need to invest more in solar. If there's this plant called Jatrofa, which has been proved that it can be a source of energy, power. So let's look for alternatives.
All right, we've got a caller, Ololade, who is joining us from Ilorin. Ololade, very, very briefly, make your point.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year.
We wish you the same. Happy New Year on the 30th of January.
I want to speak on the police and the NEPA, the electricity. What I can only say is that, without saying too much story, is that people are failing their responsibility. Supervisory role in Nigeria is very poor. People who are supposed to supervise are not supervising. And those who need to be punished are not being punished. That is why people can be doing things with levity. Thank you very much. I'm Ololade from Kwara. Happy New Year. I've been trying since last year. Thank you.
Thank you very kindly. So that's the reason he said Happy New Year. Yeah. So we say Happy New Year to you, and prosperous New Year, prosperous 2022 to you.